Alright, hey guys, I'm back with another one. Now in today's video, we are reacting to a video by Oh No, it's Alex, and it's titled "The Steam Ruined 4 Billion to Send a Message." And this was a video about Steam and apparently a bunch of things that have happened to it recently. And I found it really interesting, so I decided to go ahead and make a react on it. So let me go ahead and dive straight in, as this is very interesting.
There's one company that is synonymous with that entire platform.
Let me go ahead and turn up the volume a bit.
That is Valve. The fact that they created Steam and
Did I click something?
an entire curated storefront that has been the beacon of actual pro-consumer behavior inside the gaming space truly is a sight to behold. Want to find any game on a great sale at a great price? Boom.
That
you go
is
to
true.
Steam. Want to go through and get good support for your game and try to figure out how to fix it? Steam forums are the place to go for that. Want to find a community behind a video game that you like? That's the place to do it on Steam as well. Valve has been able to go through and create an entire platform where you can simply go to that one website or that one storefront and get everything you need in the gaming space on PC. However, though, even with all of that being
is
said,
mostly true. Mostly. There are some games that have been taken down recently because of recent policy shifts. Yeah.
There is a side to Valve that people truly do not know about. And the thing is, they have an economy that could honestly topple and rival most nations. Today, we're going to be talking about how Valve wiped away and destroyed over $4 billion in just one day. You see, Valve and Steam have been under some pretty intense scrutiny lately, from every kind of merchant bank to even most governments. And one of the big pieces of scrutiny that's been happening with Valve over the past couple of years is Counterstrike skin trading. In fact, the entire market of Counterstrike skins has been under massive amounts of scrutiny.
Yeah, that's a problem, bro. Counterstrike, bro. I didn't even know this was a thing, bro. Casino for minors. What? How easily children can gamble on sites with skins by Swedish television. That's crazy. Sorry, last time it was a Swedish horse game, wasn't it? That got caught up in the news and started a whole investigation by the EU into monetization practices. Now we've got this happening as well.
Potential gambling for minors, the ability to go through and sell these items on marketplaces, third-party websites stealing information, accounts, and even personal data from users trying to go ahead and trade up their own items on the actual storefront because of Counter-Strike itself. You could dare even say people play Counter-Strike more for the skins than they do the actual game.
If that's true, you guys let me know in the comments just how true that is.
In fact, the entire skin market in Counter-Strike became so seedy and underhanded that even influencers were creating their own lottery websites where players could go through and gamble their actual items in-game for trying to get more rare ones. The FTC even got involved as well under the website called CSGO Lotto, where two actual influencers were caught running their own lottery website, trying to get people to in fact use it and abusing the mechanics inside of it, making their outcomes
They tried to run their own gacha system and failed miserably because they got caught by the government.
More favorable than making sure people will go onto the website and then dump more money for them specifically. It also happened to other major content creators like FaZe Banks and etc., basically just pushing this kind of thing incessantly. Hell, you could even see now in today's space that many players who play Counter-Strike don't even play the game itself, they mostly just open cases incessantly. And we're not just talking about a couple of skins in order to make a few dollars. Just a few days ago, the entire skin economy in Counter-Strike reached a $6 billion market.
Bro, the fact that a game has a market cap is wild to me. And this was just a few days ago. 6 billion with a B, guys. With a capital B. Not 6 million. $6 billion for market cap of CSGO. This Counterstrike 2, I see.
Cap. That's right. We're getting into that kind of thing where you would actually have the better opportunity to make more money selling Counter-Strike skins than you actually did in the stock market.
Bro, imagine if this was in Fortnite, bro.
And yes, I did say 6 billion with a B. This really goes to show why so many companies are in fact so incessant on adding new kinds of skins into every single video game that they put out, even the ones that they charge you for at $70 a pop. Hell, back in 2012, Valve even went a step further and did this. The value of fun, according to Forbes, where Valve Software appoints its own in-house economist. That's right, back in 2012, Valve was in fact ahead of the curve, and they knew what would happen with the entire economies in their games, either with Team Fortress 2 or Dota 2 or even Counter-Strike. They knew the way the winds were blowing and had to find some way of creating a new sort of entry into this space or handling these kinds of problems. And the thing is, though, last year, their former economist said this. According to PC Gamer, Valve's former economist says that Steam could produce better macroeconomic forecasts than Goldman Sachs with the power of crowdsourcing and brownie points. And if you don't know why this matters, it's because Giannis himself was an economist for the country of Greece back in 2015. Now, some of you may be thinking, Alex, these are just skins in a video game. They're not worth billions of dollars. Why would anybody even spend that kind of
billions of dollars worth of skins in a game? And people say it's not really that valuable, but when you look at all the people who buy trading cards in real life, it makes you wonder what makes them any better. I really wonder sometimes. Because, yeah, that's a fair comparison to make, to be honest. The sentimental value that people place on things can be incredibly crazy, man. And it shows. The market cap is showing. Obviously, that's probably gone down now by quite a bit, according to the title of this video.
Money. Well, according to Jake Lucky last year, the most expensive skin in Counter-Strike history was publicly sold this morning, back in June 5th, 2024. A StatTrack factory new AK-47 Blue Gem Pattern 661
2 days
over
ago.
$1 million. No, I didn't stutter. Yes, if you don't know much about Counter-Strike or skins in the actual economy of what's happening, that kind of made your head spin. A single skin of a gun in a game that has no actual impact on how you play the game or gives you any sort of actual benefit while playing, sold for over $1 million publicly. And that's not the most expensive skin privately available in the actual marketplace as well for CS2. Because according to Dexerto on the 22nd of October, the Counter-Strike skin market crash has now wiped $3 billion from its market cap, down from $6 billion prior to Valve's October 22nd.
The Counter-Strike skin market crash. The market crashed. Bro, that's crazy. They just reach 6 billion and then instantly get cut in half. But that sucks.
Update. With the article saying Counter-Strike 2's skin economy has entered freefall within 48 hours of Valve's October 23rd update, which allowed players to trade up 5 covert skins for knives or gloves. The total market cap has dropped from around $6 billion to just $3 billion, erasing billions in virtual value and leaving players questioning the future of one of the gaming's biggest digital economies.
That's
now,
wild.
if you don't understand what that really means, don't worry, I'm going to explain it to you. You see, inside the skins for Counter-Strike 2, there are 8 actual varieties. You've got common, you've got uncommon, you've got rare, mythical, legendary, ancient, you've got exceedingly rare, and immortal. Basically, immortal is almost impossible to find. What everybody wants, though, is pretty much exceedingly rare, knives and gloves, since they're incredibly difficult to find. Previously, the only way you can get them was by simply opening cases, and people would open cases non-stop, spending tons of money trying to basically just gamble their way into getting a higher
Gacha companies
item.
could never.
You see where it says ancient right over here, that red item, that red outline? Those items are basically just useless practically because you couldn't really do anything with them.
It's the kinds of gamble that Hoyo wished to reach, bro. Genshin weapon banner back in the day, bro. That would have been perfect for Resicon. Like, if Genshin was Counterstrike, man, oh man, all the weapon pools that people used to lose weapons to, man, it would fit right in.
New patch though, and the new update basically said, well, you can take 5 of those items and trade them up for an exceedingly rare. Either have that item become a knife or in fact a pair of gloves. Yes, that's actually what I'm talking about. Knives and gloves. And because people had so many of the actual ancient items sitting in their inventory of just red line weapons, they just went ahead and started trading everything up, flooding the entire market.
Easy.
The more of something there is in a market, the less valuable in fact it becomes. And therefore,
Drag down the
everything
pricing.
came crashing down. Anomaly on Twitter said this price crash will most likely be the biggest one to date for knives and gloves. I've been actively trading CS skins since 2013.
Since 2013.
And this is by far the update with the most impact ever released. The CS market will never be the same. And he's honestly not kidding. Taking a look at Price Empire, you can clearly see the moment the update in fact went live, as the $6 billion market cap did a full-on free fall into the $2 billion space, going above a $3 billion loss. We're talking about well over 50% of the actual market cratering and collapsing. There has been some bounce back over the past couple of days, and the actual economy for CS2 has reached back to a $4 billion market cap, but
already back to 4 billion. Well, not too bad. You lost almost 30 billion, bounced back to 4.8 billion in that same amount of time. That's pretty good, not gonna lie. I mean, that's called true mitigation right there. I mean, to go from 6 billion to stabilizing at 4.8 billion, that's pretty good. It's a loss, yes, but relatively minor compared to how fast they bounced back within just 2 days, right? It's probably higher today than I'm even seeing here. This was a 2-day-old video at this point.
It is nowhere near what it was before at the $6 billion mark. In
It's
fact,
not gonna reach
Price
6
Empire
billion
on
again
Twitter was keeping pretty good track
for a
record
while.
about the entire thing, tweeting out consistent updates at the amount of money being lost over the actual couple of days, with the highest it went to at one point being over $3 billion in 38 hours. This is insane if you truly think about it, and really exposes what so many companies are in fact doing and why they're wanting to add microtransactions into their own games. We're looking at
Everything makes sense now. It really does make sense. This is why everybody's trying to be a live service game that can charge for skins. It all makes sense now. I think that's why more games in the future are gonna move away from gacha, but being skin games where you can trade skins and all that. They're really trying to hit a piece of that pie. So we'll see how that impacts all future games coming up, because I expect a lot of games to change their ways about how they monetize their games, especially with all the things happening in Europe and the monetization rulings that are going to take place very soon in the near future to this happening here, and possibly any other future economic endeavors by Steam or any other game company that tries to make profitable skin markets and whatnot, are all gonna have to deal with the same consequences in the long term. So that will be interesting.
It's being sold for over $1 million on
$1 million skins.
market. We're looking at the actual
wild.
economy of video games being an insane part to go through.
But yeah,
and people
games
literally trying to invest actual real-world money into
valuable
digital currencies or items that really hold no intrinsic value, yet for some reason are able to go through and trade and monetize these items digitally to go and actually make tons of money. In fact, one of the funniest things has been watching other content creators look at how much money they've lost specifically during that time. Here's one right now.
Days ago, $58K, okay? Now we make a shake. Let's see, guys. 58K to what? 58K. Ah! Yo! What?
Now, granted, watching someone lose around $40,000 in value due to their actual skins and their economy due to Valve simply pressing a button and allowing more people to have items really is kind of wild to see. The thing
But
is, though,
hey,
it
you
didn't
should have
just
taken your
end
money
there.
out.
There were multiple
The last
reports of the actual
48,000.
economy and
Bro.
people in China literally trying to go through and... How do I
Oh.
put this? Basically just end it all simply because of the economy and the changes that
It happened, guys. It's happening. Oh my gosh. Is it always this way, bro? Why? Why? Why does it have to get this far, bro? Like, bruh. I'm just watching all the Mizkif drama. It's wild. Now you got this guy. Bro, Chinese students to jump off building today because of the Counterstrike 2 market crash. Okay, that's wild. That's wild, man. I may be wrong for laughing, but nah, that's pathetic, man. That's truly pathetic, man. Come on, bro. You should have taken your money out in advance. I mean, this is why economists keep up with the news daily. Because you never know when they're about to release an update that could change everything in one go. But those people wish they could go back in time or something. But it is what it is. Bro ended his life because he lost value in his skins. You know what? Let's move past this point. I'm sorry.
Wiping away that $4 billion of market cap
I'm
simply
done.
by providing more opportunity for people to have those items
2
specifically.
skins.
In fact, it got so crazy that the international hotline was in fact posted on the CS2 Reddit, informing people that money is temporary and that will in fact be okay.
This is absolute cinema. What, hearing about this and seeing it happen live are totally gonna hit two different ways. I guess I'm not impacted. I've never played CS:GO, but nor traded any skins in my life. But I can't, bro. That is some crazy stuff happening there.
Now, some people may be saying, Alex, what was the point of all of this? Why would Valve purposely go out and wipe away $4 billion of market cap in their own economy of their own game?
Because
None of this makes any sense. Well, one thing is happening specifically. Valve wants to make sure that what you're spending inside of their actual game is done on their own servers and on their own terms. I think the reason Valve chose to do this and take the hit on their own economy of skins and their own value of their...
It's always control, man. I mean, it is happening on their platform. If they're not in charge of it, they're gonna get even more increased scrutiny by other governments and whatnot. And everything that's happening with payment processors recently is also putting strain on them. So they wanted to maximize as much profit as they can keep right now with everything that's happening with losing access to multiple currencies in multiple countries because of payment processors like MasterCard and Visa putting strangles on their economic gains. So they had to find a way to make more profit that could increase their margins and bypass MasterCard and Visa's hold on their other currencies because, yeah, they only have so much cash available to them directly because of what MasterCard and Visa did. If it wasn't for MasterCard and Visa changing their policy and making Steam have to buckle down, I'm pretty sure this would have never happened, to be honest, when I think about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure that would be the case.
Their items specifically is because so many people were going off onto
third-party
websites and third-party platforms in order to go through and make those
behind
trades,
the scenes,
causing a massive inflation amount of value for those specific items and moving people away from Valve's.
But yeah, that inflation is wild. Inflated value for non-tangible products, man. insane value. They make gacha games look like a joke, bro. 2,000%, that 3,000% value. Truly valuable.
Internal game store to try and go through and do it on a third-party website, basically converting their own digital items
stuff.
earned through Counterstrike 2 into proper actual currency.
I mean, they're in the full right to do this, by the way. The ramifications are crazy, but hey, Steam has the right to do it. It's on their platform. They will have ways to control this, and people may not like it. The fallout will be massive, but this was going to happen eventually. It was inevitable at some point that something like this would happen. It could be worse, and they could have done a lot more damage if they wanted to. They did the most minimal. It's not a lot of impact, but hey, it's not like they made it. They made everything tradable upwards. They did lose quite a good fair bit, but they restored control over the market, which is what any good company that's handling their financings properly would do, especially when it's a $6 billion market. It's just happening underneath their noses, and they had no say in the process. That's wild. Despite it happening on their platform, it's driving away customers from their marketplace into other shady websites, which they obviously wouldn't want to be associated with. So, of course, they would take back control no matter what they had to do. This was just the most feasible way that would be done in the quickest way possible, that would cause the most amount of impact without being overly drastic.
And that, my friends, is where things could get really sticky. We're talking about massive amounts of issues concerning with global economies, actual banks, transactions being done.
But yeah, even if the Great Depression did hit, Steam would be perfectly fine.
Or even, dare I say, money laundering due to Counter-Strike skins. There have even been so many other people in the finance space talking about how investing in Counter-Strike skins would have been a good idea. And honestly, even after that update, I really don't think it is. Now, that, of course, is just my thought process in the entire thing.
They could
But in
make more
reality,
updates.
what I think Valve is trying to do was to make these items more attainable for the regular casual player.
Which is
Before,
good.
gloves and knives in CS2 were very difficult to come by.
But then again, they could have just told the publishers to A, make these products more available, otherwise your game is booted from our platform, bro. Like, they could have done way more damage in way more drastic ways, but they just chose to make an update that would really solve some of these issues and make them truly less valuable for the higher end products. Quote unquote higher end products. That's crazy.
Tons of money to go ahead and open boxes and not really
Let's
feeling
keep going.
as if you're going to get a proper item when you opened that case. Now, even if the item isn't worth anything or you just get one while playing naturally, you can take those items and trade them up specifically, giving yourself a better opportunity to get that
Increased trading, yeah, but without the monetary incentive.
item, whether it's a knife or a glove, and trade it for something else, thereby almost resetting the entire economy and giving more casual players reasons to open up a case and spend more money inside of Counter-Strike. I feel you're going to be seeing massive corrections across this space happen over and over. And what Valve is going to be doing is cracking down and making adjustments more in these spaces due to the fact that they have been far more under scrutiny recently, and the fact that having a $6 billion market cap on a digital item was kind of fucking crazy. Really, this seemed more like the entire NFT craze happening in a more microcosm space where everybody was trying to go ahead and buy a bunch of bored apes for a ton of money and then losing all that value overnight. Really funny when you kind of make that parallel and put them all together.
I remember that partially. I didn't follow it too much back in the day, but that was something that happened.
kind of fits when you think about it. But I think this entire scenario and what happened with Valve and Counterstrike 2 really can put into perspective why you're seeing so many other game companies force things like skins and etc. into so many video games, even when you're paying $70 for the game itself. Hell, Matt Piscatella talked about how people are buying less games year over year, and you're seeing it happen. People are playing more free-to-play games, putting more money into those games specifically, rather than going out and spending.
I mean, we've seen the Genshin Impact gacha pools. And every gacha ever since Genshin, you've seen the amount of pools people have put in there, the amount of cash spent on gacha pools and whatnot. So, yeah, the economy is quite out of order, to be honest. And it's only gonna continue being that way until it's fairly regulated. And we'll see more regulations coming in sooner than later because things are changing. But yeah, I thought I'd just make this a video.
$70 on a video game. They'd rather save up their money.
Just to react to this, because the Counter-Strike situation was kind of crazy. I didn't realize things could get this crazy until I watched this video.
And traded up for a skin inside of Counter-Strike as well, especially after spending so much time and money already inside of these free-to-play games. When you look at games like Path of Exile that are free, that offer $500 supporter packs, which honestly I would never touch in the first place. At the second moment, you're also seeing things like Genshin Impact or any of the major actual whale games that you find on mobile that Hoyo really just puts out consistently all the time.
Easy money.
These games make billions of dollars a day, and it really is wild to see how much money can be obtained simply by just wanting to open up a pack.
Money
or
comes
get an
and
item
goes.
that is exceedingly rare that really holds no actual value besides what you hold digitally.
These
in
digital
that space.
items are also
And that's why you're seeing
until
so
the
many
game shuts
AAA
down or
developers and
whatever.
companies make so much money off of microtransactions. The fact that Activision Blizzard
And
King
they'll continue
alone
to do
brought in
so.
over $5 billion in just MTXs. We're not talking about game sales. These are just microtransactions, well, if you want to call them that, in buying skins and cosmetics and things like that. People want to play dress up all the time with their characters, especially if they're investing tons of hours into.
Tell me again, skins won't sell in a game. Man, I don't know what they're talking about.
Those video games, and that's where
skins will always sell. The perceived value will increase the more opportunity there is. And the more rarity skins are, the more value there will be held against them because of their perceived value.
And
it's not about the actual value, but about the perceived value, which is always the major factor in this.
How these economies of scale in the market could really impact the gaming industry altogether. Valve decided to make a correction, in my opinion, a good correction.
A necessary correction, to be honest.
Trying to reduce the actual inflation of cost of digital items.
Because that was getting crazy, and we were going to get a lot of heat for that. You let $6 billion of gambling happen underneath your noses when you had full control to stop that from getting out of hand, and you did nothing for years until recently when update wiped out that entire market. Almost wiped it out, but they salvaged it so that it could be at least at a decent functioning level, so that they don't lose all the money from it. Of course, they still would like to have some profit from that, but they don't want all the extra scrutiny that comes with such high market
in their own economy to go through and provide more people to actually play that game or even obtain the items that they want to go ahead and have, but also at the same time reduce any sort of legislative ability for other countries to go through and start looking at the books of what's in fact happening and going on. And honestly, with that kind of perspective and my tinfoil hat being put on, it feels almost like they did this entire thing on purpose, wiping away $4 billion of an actual economy and then saying, oops.
Oh, governments, you want our money? Oh, no, we don't have any money worth giving to you. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, guys, my bad. I guess everybody has access to gloves and knives now. Guess they're going to have to change for a little bit. that kind of feels that exact same way. With them being so closely monitored by things like the UK government and etc., you can almost kind of like put the points together and say, that does make a little bit of sense. But again, that's just my Alex Jones tinfoil hat theory going on. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens
must come
with
to an
Steam
end,
and
they say.
Valve in the future, especially after what we've been seeing recently with the entire censorship issues that we've been talking about, and also their economy basically going through massive tumultuous things. In my opinion, though, I feel like trying to invest into any sort of like digital good or any kind of economy in that space is going to be a fool's errand. You really don't know when a company or an update could basically just rug pull you out of everything
what
you
I just
invested
said.
into, and you could lose everything in general. And with all of that, I want to offer a warning. Look, it may seem like easy money trading up skins and knives and things like that for digital goods and try and make money that way and then siphon that off and basically launder money into finding some way of getting more money for yourself. But look, it's always going to be a risk. And with any sort of investment, there's always going to be a risk. I think.
Yep. So I'll be ending it there, guys. I really enjoyed that video, and I hope you guys enjoyed my react to it, as it's a crazy situation. So I'll be ending this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next one, because that was pretty good content right there. Like I said, absolute cinema. But yeah, see you guys in the next one. Peace.